Life is filled with noise. Opinions, interruptions, criticism, and unexpected obstacles arrive daily, uninvited and relentless. Yet true strength is not found in resisting the storm. It is found in walking through it without surrendering your composure. To act as though nothing bothers you does not mean indifference to purpose. It means detachment from distraction. When you allow external events to dictate your emotional state, you surrender control of your destiny. But when you train your mind to remain steady, regardless of circumstance, you reclaim that control. Calmness in chaos is a form of authority. It speaks louder than argument, louder than defense, louder than force. History teaches us this lesson well. The most influential men and women were not ruled by impulse or provocation. They moved with quiet certainty, as though they understood a law others had yet to discover. Their power did not come from reaction, but from restraint. Not from confrontation, but from composure. This is the quiet strength that commands respect without asking for it. The philosophy of self-mastery teaches us that thought is the foundation of all achievement. What you consistently think, you become. When you react emotionally to every situation, you hand over the steering wheel of your life. But when you cultivate an unshakable inner state, circumstances begin to bend in your favor. Those who accomplish great things understand this principle well. Control the mind, and you control the outcome. Consider a moment of insult or disrespect. The average person responds with anger or defensiveness, believing reaction equals strength. But when you respond with calm indifference, you remove the other person's power entirely. They expected emotion. They sought control. And when they receive neither, they are left unsettled, while you walk away untouched. This is silent dominance. Rare, disciplined, and deeply admired. The same principle applies to failure. Most people allow setbacks to consume them. They replay mistakes, dwell in frustration, and lose valuable time and energy. But those who understand emotional discipline view failure differently. They see it as information, a lesson, a signal for adjustment. They do not absorb failure into their identity. They observe, refine, and move forward with greater clarity. Developing this mastery requires daily practice. Pause before reacting. Ask yourself whether the situation truly matters in the long run. Ask whether your response strengthens or weakens your position. Each time you choose composure over impulse, you reinforce your inner armor. Over time, trivial matters lose their grip on you entirely. Visualization is another powerful tool. See yourself as calm, unbothered, centered. Imagine responding to pressure with ease, to criticism with silence, to chaos with clarity. The subconscious mind accepts repeated images as truth. And soon, this version of you becomes natural. Let others wonder why you remain unshaken. Let them question how you stay composed when others fall apart. When you demonstrate that nothing controls your emotions, you control the situation. You become an enigma. And within that mystery lies immense strength. True power is not loud. It does not argue. It does not seek validation. True power is presence. A presence so steady, so confident, that it needs no explanation. That is the power of mastery. Silence is not weakness. Silence, guided by an unshakable state of mind, is power. Master this discipline, and you master life itself. Observe the strongest individuals you know. They do not react impulsively. They do not allow emotion to seize control of their actions. They pause. They evaluate. They respond with purpose. Not because they feel nothing, but because they have learned to command their feelings rather than be ruled by them. Emotional detachment is often misunderstood. It is not the absence of emotion. It is the mastery of it. Imagine standing in the middle of a heated exchange while another person attempts to provoke you. You have two choices. You can react and surrender your peace, or you can remain calm, fully aware that words carry no power unless you assign meaning to them. Detachment means refusing to hand over your inner stability to external forces. It means recognizing that your inner world is sacred and untouchable. When you adopt this mindset, stress begins to lose its grip. Clarity sharpens. Challenges no longer feel like battles but become problems to be solved calmly and intelligently. Remember this principle well: thoughts shape reality. What you dwell upon expands. When you allow circumstances to dictate your emotional state, you become controlled by them. But when you take command of your thoughts and emotions, you become the architect of your own destiny. Consider the man who lost everything. His business failed. His investments vanished. By all appearances, he had nothing left. Many would have surrendered to despair. But not this man. He understood a deeper truth. External loss cannot take away internal mastery. He viewed failure not as defeat, but as instruction. With his mind intact and disciplined, he rebuilt his life stronger than before. This is the power of detachment. When you stop identifying yourself with failure, you free yourself to rise above it. Most people fall short of their goals not because of lack of ability, but because of emotional turbulence. Fear, doubt, and frustration take control. They begin with enthusiasm, but retreat at the first sign of resistance. Those who master emotional detachment see obstacles differently. They understand emotions are temporary sensations, not commands. They refuse to let momentary discomfort sabotage long-term success. Detachment does not make you cold. It makes you sovereign. You can still experience joy, sadness, excitement, and passion, but you remain in command. Your emotions become servants, not masters. To develop this discipline, practice stepping back in emotionally charged moments. The next time you feel provoked, pause. Observe the emotion without acting on it. Ask yourself, will this matter tomorrow? Next year? Most often, the answer is no. In choosing not to react, you reclaim your power. A clear purpose strengthens detachment. When your vision is strong, petty distractions lose their influence. Your focus becomes unbreakable because you understand your energy is too valuable to waste on what does not serve your mission. The world belongs to those who master themselves. As your emotional control deepens, your presence grows stronger. While others panic, you remain calm. While others react, you respond. And in that space between stimulus and response, you gain an advantage few ever attain. True strength is not loud. It does not demand attention. It does not seek validation. True strength is an unshakable presence that commands respect without asking for it. When you master emotional detachment, you do not merely move through life. You direct it. If something will not matter 5 years from now, let it go today. Most of what troubles us, criticism, temporary setbacks, small embarrassments, fades with time. Yet we allow these minor moments to occupy our thoughts, drain our emotions, and control our actions. This is why mastering indifference is essential to reclaiming your power. Indifference is not apathy. It is prioritization. It is the wisdom to recognize that your energy is limited and must be invested only where it produces growth, peace, and progress. Not every battle deserves your strength. Not every opinion deserves your attention. When you stop reacting to every small disturbance, you regain control. You shift from emotional reaction to strategic response, and that single shift changes everything. Think about the people you admire most. They are not the ones chasing approval or reacting emotionally to every challenge. They are steady, grounded, unshaken by the noise of the world. They know who they are, and because of that, they cannot be easily influenced or manipulated. When you adopt this mindset, something remarkable happens. People begin to respect you more. Not because you seek their validation, but because they sense that you cannot be moved. In a world where most are desperate to fit in, to be liked, to conform, the person who stands firmly in self-worth holds real power. Consider this scenario. Someone criticizes you unfairly. The weak react instantly. They defend, over-explain, or retaliate. The strong remain calm. They understand that words have no power unless permission is given. By choosing not to react, they maintain control, not just over the situation, but over themselves. And that self-respect commands far more respect than any emotional outburst ever could. The same principle applies to success. Those who achieve greatness do not waste their energy on trivial concerns. They are sharply focused on their goals. They refuse to be distracted by petty drama or external judgment. They operate with clarity, knowing that every moment spent worrying about what does not matter is a moment stolen from progress. So how do you cultivate this level of indifference? Start by observing your reactions. The next time anger, frustration, or anxiety begins to rise over something small, pause. Ask yourself, is this worth my energy? Most of the time, the answer will be no. Train yourself to release what does not serve you. Another powerful practice is setting clear priorities. Define what truly matters in your life, your purpose, your growth, your peace of mind. When your self-worth is rooted within, the opinions of others lose their grip. You become untouchable, not because you care about nothing, but because you care deeply about the right things. This is the truth most never realize. True power is not found in seeking approval. It is found in remaining unmoved by rejection. It is the ability to walk away from what drains you, rise above petty conflict, and stay focused in a world filled with distraction. In the end, it is not about caring less. It is about caring wisely. Because when you master the art of indifference, you do not merely survive. You rise. And in a world obsessed with pleasing others, the person who stands firm in self-worth will always rise above the rest. The moment you hand someone else the power to define your worth, you surrender control over your own life. True confidence is never given. It is built. Built through self-reliance. Built through the quiet certainty that you do not need permission to be who you are. Think about the most magnetic individuals you have ever encountered. They do not beg for approval. They do not shrink themselves to fit in. They stand fully in who they are, flaws and all. And that unwavering sense of self is exactly what makes them powerful. While others chase validation, they walk their own path with purpose and conviction. The need for approval is rooted in fear. Fear of rejection. Fear of judgment. Fear of standing alone. But here is the truth. The more you seek approval, the more power you give away. You become trapped by expectations, bending and reshaping yourself to fit molds created by others. And in doing so, you betray your true self. Freedom begins the moment you release the need to be liked by everyone. Universal approval is an illusion. No matter what you do, someone will criticize you. Some will admire you. Many will remain indifferent. So why waste your energy trying to please the entire world? Look at the individuals who change history, leaders, innovators, creators. They are not driven by acceptance. They are driven by vision, by purpose, by an inner fire that refuses to be extinguished. They face criticism, yet they remain unmoved because their confidence is anchored in self-belief, not public opinion. And that is what makes them unstoppable. If you want to break free from the approval trap, begin by asking yourself whose opinion truly matters. More often than not, the loudest critics are those who do not walk your path and do not understand your journey. Their words carry no weight unless you give it to them. Another vital step is learning to validate yourself. Acknowledge your progress. Honor your growth. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small. When you recognize your own worth, external approval loses its power. You no longer need applause to feel worthy. You simply know. Detaching from validation does not mean becoming arrogant or dismissive. It means standing firm in who you are. It means respecting your choices, trusting your journey, and refusing to let others dictate your direction. Your value is not negotiable. It is not something to be debated or voted on. The moment you stop seeking validation is the moment you begin living freely. You no longer filter your words, actions, or dreams through the expectations of others. You move with authenticity, with boldness, with a purpose that cannot be shaken. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone will support you. And that is perfectly fine. Those who truly matter will respect you, not because you seek their approval, but because you do not need it. Choose yourself. Stand firm in your values, your beliefs, your vision. Release the need for external validation and embrace the power of self-acceptance. Because once you do, you become untouchable, not because everyone approves of you, but because you no longer require their approval. Overreaction is nothing more than misplaced attention. The lesson is simple and powerful. Filter criticism through logic, not emotion. Keep what serves your growth. Discard what does not. And never allow another person's opinion to disturb your inner peace. There are two kinds of criticism in this world: constructive and destructive. Constructive criticism is a gift. It sharpens you. It comes from experience, wisdom, and a genuine desire to see you improve. This is the kind of feedback that builds greatness. Destructive criticism, however, is designed to weaken you. It is often born from jealousy, insecurity, or ignorance. These opinions have no value unless you make the mistake of accepting them. Imagine a sculptor shaping a masterpiece. As he chisels away, people gather. Some admire the work. Some offer helpful insight. Others mock and ridicule. Does the sculptor abandon his vision because of a few negative voices? Of course not. He continues, guided by his inner vision, filtering out the noise. This is how you must approach criticism. When someone criticizes you, ask yourself a simple question. Does this person have the experience, wisdom, or credibility to judge me? If yes, consider their words. If not, move on without hesitation. Most criticism comes from people who have never done what you are attempting. Their words are reflections of their own limitations, not yours. Criticism is a test of emotional strength. The weak react impulsively. They argue, defend, or retreat into self-doubt. The strong remain composed. They acknowledge criticism, evaluate it, and move forward without disturbance. When you respond with calm indifference, you reveal a confidence that cannot be shaken. History proves this truth. Every great thinker, leader, and innovator faced relentless criticism. Their ideas were questioned. Their decisions were mocked. Yet they pressed forward, understanding that criticism is often the price of progress. Those who rise are the ones who refuse to let outside noise determine their direction. To master this mindset, practice detachment. The next time criticism comes your way, pause. Do not react. Analyze. If there is value, extract it. If there is not, discard it. This habit frees you from the burden of approval seeking. And remember this. True confidence comes from inner conviction, not from praise or approval. When you believe in yourself fully, shallow criticism loses all power. The world will always speak. Some will applaud. Some will doubt. But in the end, the only opinion that truly matters is your own. True power lies in hearing criticism, evaluating it rationally, and moving forward without losing focus. The strongest people do not fear criticism. They use it wisely or ignore it completely. Now understand this. Pressure reveals character. Some break under it. Some collapse. But the strong remain steady. Why? Because they prepare their minds before the storm ever arrives. They understand that pressure is not an exception. It is inevitable. And when you expect challenges, they no longer surprise you. The secret is detachment from the need for control. Not everything will go according to plan. People will disappoint you. Obstacles will appear. Setbacks will arrive without warning. But instead of reacting emotionally, you respond strategically. Calm. Calculated. Focused. Most people fail under pressure because they resist reality. They expect life to be smooth and predictable. When it is not, they panic. They complain. They freeze. But those who embrace uncertainty adapt. They move with chaos rather than fighting it. Think of a seasoned warrior. He does not enter battle expecting ease. He expects resistance, uncertainty, and danger. And because he accepts this truth, he remains composed. He does not waste energy wishing for comfort. He focuses on execution. This must become your mindset. The world will test you. Stress, failure, and doubt will appear. But when you train yourself to remain composed under pressure, nothing can shake you. While others panic, you will think clearly. While others react emotionally, you will act with precision. True power is not control over events, but control over self. When you no longer need things to go perfectly, you become unstoppable. Pressure stops being a threat and becomes a proving ground. Look at the greatest leaders. They do not flinch in chaos. They do not crumble when plans fall apart. They remain calm, steady, and deliberate. People look at them and wonder how nothing seems to disturb them. The answer is simple. They trained their minds to expect difficulty. They rehearsed their responses long before the test arrived. They detached from panic and prioritized reason. To build this discipline, change how you view pressure. See it as a test, a challenge to your composure. When stress arises, observe your emotions without obeying them. With practice, calm becomes your default state. Preparation is essential. Strong individuals do not wait for pressure. They mentally rehearse adversity. They condition their minds for difficulty. When you do this, nothing catches you off guard. Most people rely on hope. The disciplined rely on preparation. When adversity strikes, one collapses. The other stands firm. So when pressure builds, remind yourself, this is my test. While others panic, I breathe. While others react, I calculate. And when the storm passes, I remain untouched, unshaken, unbreakable. Finally, understand this truth. Much of human suffering comes from attachment. Attachment to outcomes, to expectations, to things beyond our control. We cling to how life should unfold, and when reality disagrees, we suffer. True mental strength comes from letting go. Picture a river. It flows around obstacles without resistance. It does not demand that rocks move. It does not stop when blocked. It adapts. That is how you must approach life. Some things will happen regardless of your effort. The opportunity that never came. The person who walked away. The setback you did not expect. You can resist and suffer, or you can adapt and move forward. The choice is always yours. Letting go is not surrender. It is redirection. Clinging to expectations makes you fragile. It traps you in frustration, replaying the past and questioning what could have been. But when you accept that some things are beyond your control, you free yourself from unnecessary pain. The strongest people are not those who fight the inevitable. They are those who remain calm in uncertainty. They detach, not from life, but from the illusion of control. They understand that peace comes not from forcing outcomes, but from flowing with reality. When you release rigid expectations, you become resilient. No setback can break you. No disappointment can define you. Strength is adaptability. And when you master it, you become truly unstoppable. The doorway to letting go is awareness. The next time you feel yourself gripping too tightly, an outcome, a person, an expectation, pause. Ask yourself one honest question. Is this within my control? If the answer is no, release it. Do not waste your energy wrestling with what you cannot change. Redirect that energy toward what moves you forward. Detachment is a skill, and like any skill, it is built through practice. Begin small. Let go of minor irritations. The long line at the store. The slow traffic. The unexpected change in plans. Notice how freeing it feels to stop reacting, to stop allowing external circumstances to dictate your inner state. Over time, apply this discipline to greater challenges. Some mistake detachment for indifference, but they are not the same. Indifference is apathy, a withdrawal from life. Detachment is wisdom. It is the understanding that you can engage fully with life without being enslaved by uncertainty. You can care deeply about your goals, your relationships, and your journey without suffering when events unfold differently than expected. The moment you release what you cannot control, you become untouchable. You move through life with a calm that others notice but cannot explain. While they are consumed by frustration and disappointment, you remain steady, unshaken. They wonder why nothing seems to disturb you. The truth is simple. You have mastered the art of letting go. Stop resisting. Accept what is. Adapt to what comes. And remember this. The strongest minds do not cling. They flow. Like a river, They move forward, untouched by obstacles in their path. Now understand this. Silence is the ultimate power move. In a world addicted to noise, silence is strength. Most people speak to fill space, to seek validation, to prove something. The powerful do the opposite. They listen. They observe. They calculate. And when they speak, every word carries weight. Silence makes people uncomfortable. It forces them to question themselves, to project their thoughts, to reveal their intentions. In any interaction, the one who speaks less holds the advantage. Words reveal. Silence conceals. When you master silence, you shift power dynamics in your favor. Most people rush to fill silence with explanations and justifications. But when you remain quiet, others expose themselves. The more they talk, the more they reveal. Meanwhile, you remain a mystery. And mystery is power. Imagine a negotiation. An offer is placed before you, and an immediate response is expected. Instead, you pause. You allow silence to stretch. The other person grows uneasy. They begin to second-guess. They improve their terms. They compromise. Silence creates tension. Tension creates leverage. The same applies in everyday life. When someone insults you, say nothing. Most expect anger or defense. When you give them silence, they lose control. Your silence forces them to confront their own emotions. You remain untouched. Silence is also a tool of observation. When you speak less, you notice more. Tone shifts. Body language. Contradictions. These details are invisible to those who talk too much. But when you master silence, you become strategic. You gather information without revealing anything. There is a reason the most influential individuals are rarely the loudest in the room. They choose their words with precision. Speaking less does not mean knowing less. It means knowing more. Practice restraint. Pause before speaking. Listen more than you talk. Let others reveal themselves first. And when you finally speak, people lean in. Your words matter. Silence is especially powerful in moments of emotion. When angry, remain silent. When insulted, remain silent. When pressured for an immediate answer, delay it. The ability to control your speech under pressure is discipline. And discipline commands respect. Powerful individuals are not reactive. They understand that silence itself is a response. A pause can say more than words ever could. When others expect a reaction, give them silence. Let them wonder. Let them reveal themselves. Watch the power shift. Now remember this. Your mind is the battlefield. The thoughts you allow will determine whether you win or lose. Doubt, fear, hesitation. These are enemies. The strongest individuals are not free from negative thoughts. They simply refuse to be ruled by them. Mental strength is trained. Gratitude neutralizes negativity. Discipline overrides laziness. Detachment eliminates suffering. Just as the body grows through resistance, the mind strengthens through daily challenge. You cannot expect calm in crisis if you have not practiced it in peace. Train yourself daily to pause before reacting, to breathe before responding. Most people live as slaves to emotion. Leaders do not. They control their minds, and by doing so, they control their lives. Mental strength is forged in small moments. Waking up when you want to sleep. Staying silent when you want to argue. Continuing when everything urges you to quit. The mind, like a muscle, grows stronger through resistance. One of the greatest advantages you can develop is detachment. When you separate yourself from chaos, from outcomes, from emotional storms, you gain clarity. Detachment is not indifference. It is control. You may not control the world, but you can always control your response. Imagine a storm. Most are swept away by its force. But the disciplined stand grounded, unmoved. While chaos rages around them, they remain centered. And that is the power of an unshakable mind. They allow the storm to pass around them. They do not waste energy battling what cannot be controlled. Instead, they conserve their strength for what truly matters. This is the mark of mental mastery. Another essential pillar of this discipline is self-control. The mind naturally seeks comfort, ease, and the path of least resistance. That is why most people never rise beyond mediocrity. They surrender to distraction, procrastination, and doubt. Discipline changes this. Discipline rewires the mind. Each time you choose discipline over comfort, you shape yourself into someone stronger, sharper, and more resilient. Begin small. Commit to habits that reinforce mental strength. Meditate to sharpen focus. Exercise to train discipline. Read to expand perspective. Keep your word to yourself, even in the smallest promises. These actions may seem minor, but over time they compound into something powerful. An unshakable mind.